Hello, my name is Alecia. This is my video about journaling consistently when you have ADHD. And I am just going to first tell you that I have tried to make this video multiple times over the past few days, and there have been wardrobe changes, there have been hairstyle changes, and I am just not going to do this anymore. So I hope that this video is satisfactory for you. But what I'm going to say is that I understand what it's like to be inconsistent, and I am here for you, and I want to give you some reasons as to why you haven't been able to maintain a journaling routine as someone with inattentive ADHD, possibly as I have. Why is it a good idea for a person to journal, especially if they have ADHD? I'm going to give you 3 reasons as to why it is beneficial for me. I can't speak for everyone. One is that it gives me improved focus and clarity, and it makes me feel more organized. Whether I actually am or not, I don't know, but I feel a little more organized when I journal, and I'm able to get my thoughts out onto paper and kind of play around with them, see where they line up, where things need to be in order to be together and make sense. So yes, otherwise they're just kind of going around in my brain like a blender, and that is not what we want. 6 years ago, I just got tired of seeing all these random little notes all over my apartment, seeing all these random little bits of paper. It's like I knew I needed to write things down, but I wasn't keeping everything in one place. And so eventually I decided, okay, I'm going to start bullet journaling, and then anything that I want to write down on a sticky note, I will do it in the journal. So I'm still not completely broken of that habit, but just imagine about 10,000 of these in a 1-bedroom apartment. You may see 1 or 2 of these on my desk now, as opposed to a whole desk covered with stickies and bits of notebook paper and random unfinished notebooks that are just scattered all over the place. Number 2 reason why I journal is that it helps me manage my stress and anxiety. I am a person who gets very easily overwhelmed if I have too much on my plate going at one time. And once I feel overwhelmed, then I start to just shut down, and then I can't really do anything. I get in kind of analysis paralysis. I'm basically useless at that point. So I want to avoid that. I want to make sure that I have a place to kind of manage all of the information that is flying at myself and at everyone on a daily basis. So yeah, just having a place, again, just to kind of make sure that those thoughts are managed and corralled. I've been able to manage and articulate my emotions better. So I don't know if you've ever Googled ADHD rage. It is fun. You should Google that. So, yes, I won't say that I'm perfect with being able to express my emotions, but I have gotten so much better over the past few years about even knowing what my emotions are and just seeing them over and over and seeing what triggers certain emotions and being able to express them and put boundaries in place and all of that. Journaling has helped with all of those things. Number 4 reason why I do it. As I mentioned, with triggers, with emotions, it also allows me to see patterns in my life and just see where I keep making the same silly mistakes over and over and over again. Because with ADHD, for me, also comes memory issues. And sometimes I just don't remember things that I have done. I can name like whole time periods in my early 20s that I don't remember. So yes, just having a written document, written record of things that I've done and maybe don't want to repeat. And occasionally I will go back and look at old journals and say, oh wow, I keep doing that thing. Maybe stop doing that. So it has helped in that regard. Okay, that's it. So if you have ADHD like me, Maybe you are sitting at home right now and you are seeing all the papers that are scattered around where you live, or you're seeing those notebooks that are unfinished, or you are wondering what is going on in life. Maybe you are just feeling kind of floaty and not always present and not always aware of the passage of time. That's another issue for ADHDers. We don't always really have a great concept of time. So if you are struggling with all of those things, here are some reasons why you may struggle with having a journaling routine if it's something that you've started before or something that you haven't started because you were afraid to. Routines are not always our friends. Routines to an ADHD person, at least from my experience, it's kind of like our kryptonite. Like, we just think of the idea of doing the same things day in and day out. We just see that as so boring and just so life draining. Like, we can't even imagine it. It just sounds repulsive to a lot of people with ADHD. We crave variety. We crave having just new experiences every day. We like that novelty. We like to feel spontaneous and wild and crazy. Any whiff of a routine is going to just be like, oh God. But over the years, I have realized that routines are actually kind of nice. They, on the surface, it's like, oh, I feel like a boring person. But it's like, okay, and now I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing in a given moment. So in the morning, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you do your coffee, whatever, you sit on the toilet for 45 minutes. I don't know. And you have, you wake up, you take care of all of your morning activities, and yeah, so it's nice to just boom, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. If you struggle to have a routine with your journaling, take a look around at the rest of your daily routines and see if there's something that needs to be changed, if you need to create an actual routine in the first place, and then also just see if there's something that you're already doing on a daily basis that you can attach the journaling to. Maybe it is going to the bathroom. Maybe it is getting a coffee or getting, your hot beverage or tea. Go ahead and do your journaling before or after that, and it will help you start to build that routine. Another idea is when you're first starting a habit, another thing that might be really helpful is to have an accountability person to kind of keep you in line for those first few weeks or months. One idea might be to do body doubling, which is it's either someone just sits with you and watches you do whatever it is that you're doing, which is kind of creepy, your task or chore or whatever, or you have a person who is doing their own task or chore alongside you, and you can keep each other accountable. So that is one way to go to help you at least start to get those what do I want to say, those guideposts, those tentacles, whatever. I'm sleepy, y'all. Get those first steps going with your journaling routine, and once you have that in place, it'll start to feel, after a while, once you get into the routine of doing it, not doing it is going to make you possibly feel a little weird. Yeah, so part of my nightly routine is putting my hair in scrunchies, so I'm going to do that now while I talk. Yeah, so the second reason you might have trouble staying consistent with journaling is that you feel overwhelmed when you see a blank page in your notebook. Because when you see a blank page, you start to overthink about what you need to write about. And then once you start to overthink, then you start to feel overwhelmed. And then once you feel overwhelmed, then you end up not writing anything at all. Am I correct? So in order to avoid feeling that overwhelmed feeling, first, what I would recommend is just have someone tell you what to write. It's not cheating. So, for those of you who are maybe more perfectionistic, don't think of it as cheating. It is simply just having someone ask you a question. Think of it as like a job interview or something like that, where someone's asking you a question and you're responding. So, don't think that you have to just think of everything from scratch from the dome. Okay, like you can use help when you're journaling. It's perfectly fine, and that will help you just start to get out of your own head, and you're not sitting there looking at the blank page and trying to think of something really profound to write, trying to think of the next great novel. No, what you're gonna do is simply write about your day, write about that person that made you angry at work, write about someone that you have a crush on. Just write. The purpose is to just put your pen to the paper, thinking of things that you've written about in the past and rewriting them, or writing about a television show that you've seen recently, or a piece of music that you liked, or a book that you read. Because yeah, it's better to have a lazy journaling day than no journaling day at all, right? Like, so don't sit there and think about oh, I only wrote 5 lines today, and that is just like, that doesn't count as a journaling day. Yes, it does, right? You put your pen to paper in your journal, and that's what matters. So, hydrating facial wipes that I got from Dollar Tree. They have hyaluronic acid. The last reason why you may not have been able to hold on to your journaling routine is that you are bored. Like any relationship or situationship, you gotta keep it spicy. You gotta show them where to put it. You gotta bake those biscuits. You gotta knead that bread. You gotta pull that pizza out of the oven. When you're fighting boredom in your journaling, it's either that you have to write about different things, you have to use different journaling techniques, you have to use journaling prompts, you have to write upside down, I don't know. Or it is that you simply need to do something new in your life that you can write about. Not saying that writing about boring things is not valuable in itself, but it is more interesting to write about your life if it's more interesting. Also, this is a good opportunity to find different ways of looking at the world and finding different ways to describe things that you see around you, or taking the time to describe things that you see around you. Maybe you see a neighbor that you don't know anything about. You can make up a whole story about them. Maybe you see a car accident on the way home from work. You could talk about that. Maybe hoping that the people are okay. I love to talk about food. You could write about a meal that you had, or maybe a restaurant that you are dreaming of going to in the future. Just anything that is different, that'll give you just a little bit of variety in your journaling routine, that will help bring that spark back. Another thing you can try is reading the memoirs or the autobiographies of other people, and just seeing how they told their story, and seeing if there's something that you can bring into your journaling, your writing style. So don't tell anybody, but I have never read The Diary of Anne Frank. I know that is one of those, it's one of the most famous published diaries in the world. I have never read it. Okay, I have read The Color Purple by Alice Walker. That's fictional, but it is still in that kind of memoir diary style. Another one that I thought of just now is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. That's a classic for the 80s kids such as myself. And you know what? I think that is something that I would like to do more of, is amass a collection of different autobiographies, different memoirs, and just see how people think, see how people overcame obstacles. If you have any good book recommendations, definitely let us all know. Leave us a comment, and we will discuss, we will share. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for letting me get ready for bed with you. But yes, I just want you to take away the knowledge that persistence is better than 100% consistency. It is better for you to have that mental fortitude to know that, hey, if I miss a day of journaling, it's okay. Nothing happened. I can go back to it the next day. So just knowing that you don't have to be 100% perfect, as long as you have that inner spark to be able to come back and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, try again the next day. That's what's most important in journaling and in life. So also, I just want you to remember that if you don't know who you are, then you're going to be miserable. And journaling is one thing that, for me at least, has helped me figure out who I am. Okay, on that note, I want to go to bed. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe if you would like to see more journaling content. Please leave me a like if you like this video. And I will be back with you on Sunday. I do a bullet journaling. Plan with me. Get ready for the week. Feel pumped. Every Sunday, 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you will join me. Thank you. And if it is nighttime when you watch this video, I hope you have a good night. Bye.